Hello, fellow Wolverines, and welcome back to Wolf TV SportsCenter. My name is Gabby Miller.
And I'm Connor Woolley. In this week's episode, we'll cover football's loss at Oklahoma, women's field hockey's win over Bellarmine, women's soccer's win against Youngstown State, men's soccer's tie at Oakland, a full slate of women's volleyball victories at home over Eastern Michigan, FAU, Marshall, and Southern Indiana, and we'll look ahead to a home matchup with Central Michigan.
The Michigan Wolverines fell to the Oklahoma Sooners this past Saturday, 24-13. Oklahoma received the ball for the first drive of the game and capped it with a 9-yard touchdown pass from quarterback John Mateer to wide receiver Dion Burks. The only other scoring drive of the half was a 2-yard quarterback rush from John Mateer with 26 seconds left in the second quarter, making it 14-0 at the break. Our best drive of the half ended in a missed 32-yard field goal from Dominic Zavada. Michigan's offense, led by offensive coordinator and quarterback coach Chip Lindsey, was held scoreless in the first half. The last time a Michigan team was shut out in the half was during the catastrophic 2020 season, in which Wisconsin led 28-0 at halftime.
Following the kickoff, the first play in the second half was a huge 75-yard rushing touchdown from Justice Haynes, which would prove to be one of the only bright spots for the game for the Wolverines. Oklahoma responded with quarterback John Mateer's second rushing touchdown of the game, making it 21-7. In the third quarter, Zavada made 2 field goals to bring the deficit within reach at 21-13. However, in the fourth, we could not sustain any momentum, and Oklahoma sealed the deal with a 21-yard field goal with just under 2 minutes left in the game. In his first real test as starting quarterback, true freshman Bryce Underwood struggled with a stat line of 9 for 24 with only 142 passing yards and no touchdowns.
On September 2nd, the Michigan women's volleyball team started their home season here at Chrysler, hosting Eastern Michigan. They dominated most of the game, sweeping Eastern 3-0. Allison Jacobs led the team, posting a match-high 15 kills, with Jenna Haynes adding 8 kills and only letting up 1 error on 15 swings, also including a dig and a block. The team's victory was a good confidence booster for their full weekend of play. On September 5th, the women's team competed in their Michigan Invitational here at Chrysler Center. They beat Florida Atlantic 3-0 in a series of close sets. Allison Jacobs totaled a match-leading 22 kills in 10 digs. Amalia Simmons achieved 9 kills and 1 error on 20 swings.
Both setters recorded double-digit assists, contributing to the big win to start the weekend. On September 6th, the girls swept Marshall, dominating in all 3 sets. Ellie White set a career-high 4 service aces. Lydia Johnson led with 12 kills, while Amalia Simmons and Allison Jacobs recorded double-digit kills. It was a heavily offensive game for the Wolverines. To conclude the weekend, the team played on September 7th against Southern Indiana. The Wolverines won the first 2 sets, falling just short in the third, but recovering in the fourth to clinch the win for the weekend, remaining undefeated. Morgan Burke played a large role on offense, racking up 27 assists. Maddie Kukrin led the Wolverines in digs, tallying 12 throughout the match. The team will be on the road this Friday, September 12th, against Virginia.
The Michigan men's soccer team took a trip over to Rochester Hills this past Friday, September 5th, to take on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. The number 25 ranked Wolverines played to a 2-2 draw against Oakland, with all 4 goals of the game coming in the second half after a scoreless first. Kyle Pearson and Michael Ramirez were Michigan's goal scorers of the evening, both notching their first collegiate goals to put Michigan up 2-0. However, a triumphant comeback by the Grizzlies, including a late goal in the 88th minute, notched the match up at 2 apiece, resulting in a draw for the final result. They now look ahead to Saturday, September 13th at Indiana to open up Big Ten play. The Michigan women's soccer team had a better result in their match, shutting out the Youngstown State Penguins 2-0 on Sunday, September 7th. Josie Owen-Kren notched her first collegiate goal, while Elle Irvin extended her team-high goal count to 4 on the year. They now head down to Columbus to take on Ohio State on Friday, September 12th.
On Sunday, September 7th, the Michigan women's field hockey team faced off against Bellarmine at Phyllis Ocker Field, scoring 13 unreturned goals, the most scored by the team in 45 years, and falling just short of the record for most goals scored in a single game in the program's 53-year history. The Wolverines outshot the Knights 40-1 with notable performances from Abby Tamer and Peyton Maloney with 2 goals each. Players Maxine Rogue and Natalie Macarin netted their first collegiate goals, joined by Drew Moffitt, who had a hat trick by the end of the night. The Wolverines will face off against UC Davis on Friday, September 12th away at Aggie Field.
This coming Saturday, September 13th, the 23rd-ranked Michigan Wolverines return home to the Big House for their final non-conference matchup, hosting the Central Michigan Chippewas in Ann Arbor. These two programs have met just 4 times in their history, with Michigan winning every meeting, most recently a 59-9 victory back in 2013. Central Michigan enters this week with a record of 1-1 under first-year head coach Matt Drinkle. The Chippewas rely on a run-first offense powered by backs Nari Biggins and Trey Cornice, who have both already topped the 100-yard mark this season. Defensively, the Chippewas have struggled to contain opponents, allowing over 40 points in their loss at Pitt last week. If they can't slow Michigan's ground attack, it could be another long afternoon.
For Michigan, this game is all about consistency. Freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood has thrown for nearly 400 yards through 2 weeks, but he's still adjusting to the speed of the college game. He'll be supported by sophomore star Justice Haynes, already with 284 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on the season, who continues to set the tone in the backfield. On defense, the Wolverines have been led by linebacker Ernest Hausman with 19 tackles, while Cole Sullivan has emerged as a playmaker with 2 sacks, an interception, and a fumble recovery. That unit will look to lock down Central Michigan's rushing attack and get back on track after the Oklahoma loss. So, it's been a couple days since Saturday. My mood has finally gotten better, but that was a rough weekend, and that was just a rough night in general.
It was. I think adding on to it, the Lions also running the ball excessively a lot. Both those games back-to-back, seeing a lot of running calls. Not the best. Rough day to be a Michigander, honestly.
It reminded me of 2019 Michigan, like the run, screen. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. If I'm still able to predict what the offense is going to call, there's a problem here, and we got to fix it. They knew what was coming. I think we were playing a little too conservative.
I agree. I think we're trying to protect Underwood a lot, and I get that. He's a freshman, but realistically, do we think he's going to stay all 4 years at Michigan? If he's as good as people are saying he is, I don't think he is. I think he's going to leave early like JJ. However, noting that, I don't think we should use this year to protect him. He bulked up 30 pounds the second he flipped his commitment. I think it's super important we test it out. He clearly put up a good block in that first game we saw against New Mexico. Great block. He has the strength. He has the power. He has the speed. He has a heck of an arm. The explosiveness is there. I think we just got to start testing the waters. And I think this weekend against Central Michigan, there couldn't be a more perfect opportunity.
They got to let him air it out, and they got to show that this is the guy we spent money on. He's worth it, and he's going to take us to a championship.
They do. I just think we got to start showing that instead of putting the $12 million for just running plays.
Yeah.
That'll be all for this week's episode of Wolf TV SportsCenter. Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.